Okay, this is the cranial cavity, and let's understand the meninges covering the brain. So here you can see that once we open the vault of the skull, we will see immediately a tough fibrous sheet called as dura mater. So this is the dura mater. In the cranial cavity, the dura mater has got two layers, that is endosteal layer, the layer which is lining the bones, that is called as endosteal layer, and the layer which is lining the rest of the structures, that is the other meninges, that is called as meningeal layer. So here in this particular area we can clearly make out that there are two layers of the dura mater, endosteal and meningeal layer. At certain places the meningeal layer folds on itself to form a specific folds which will form partitions for the areas of the brain. These are called as dural folds. Let's see what are dural folds. This is called as falx cerebri. Now when you are looking at the falx cerebri, falx means sickle shaped. It looks like a sickle. So here it has got a upper attached margin to the vault of the skull and lower free margin. Here at the point anterior end, it is attached near the crista galli. This is the area where you will see crista galli in the cribriform plate of the ethmoid. On one side we have opened the orbit. That's why we are not able to see clearly. So here you can see this is the cribriform plate, and here you can see crista galli. So this is the attached anterior end of the falx cerebri, and posteriorly falx cerebri is attached on the outer surface of the next fold of dura mater. Which is this fold? Let's see that. So here you can see this is like a tent which is covering the rest of the brain, separating rest of the brain from cerebellum. Where is the cerebellum? Cerebellum is in this particular area, which is the posterior cranial fossa behind the petrous part of the temporal bone. So covering this cerebellar fossa, or you can say posterior cranial fossa, a tent-like dural fold is present, that is called as tentorium cerebelli. This separates cerebrum from cerebellum, whereas falx cerebri separates two cerebral hemispheres. Okay, it is present in between. So if we have to remove the brain, first we have to remove the falx cerebri, and then we can remove the brain. Then next, there are other two folds. You can see that here, this is the body of the sphenoid, where we have pituitary gland. This particular opening, this region, this is called as sella turcica entirely, and the fossa is called as pituitary fossa. In that we have pituitary gland. So this itself is covered by another layer of dura mater which is called as diaphragma cellae. That's the reason why you cannot clearly see pituitary gland, because it is covered by diaphragma cellae. What you are looking at here, this is the stalk of the pituitary gland. You can see the stalk here. So this is covered by the cranial nerve, optic nerves, second cranial nerve. This is the junction of optic nerves, that's called as optic chiasma, which comes superior to the diaphragma cellae, which is the covering of dura mater, which covers the pituitary fossa. Then we have the next layer. You can see one more fold of dura mater which separates two cerebellar hemispheres. Again, this is also like a sickle shaped fold. That's why this is called as falx cerebelli, which separates two cerebellar hemispheres. Now these are the layers of the dura mater and dural folds. Now within the dura mater folds, you can see that at certain areas the endosteal and the meningeal layers are separated and are filled with venous blood. So these spaces are called as dural venous sinuses. They are paired and unpaired sinuses. So let's see what are the paired and unpaired sinuses.